Hello, everyone. Welcome back to KXAN Live. Thanks for joining us. I'm your anchor, Esmeralda Zamora, and today we're in Simple Health segment. And to help me do this is our Jose Torres, our Simple Health expert. Jose, thanks for being here. Happy New Year's. How are you doing?
Happy New Year. Happy 2025. How is it so far for you?
It's been a little chaotic here in the newsroom, but I think it's like a nice fresh start for this new year. I feel that.
And that's a perfect segue, a fresh start, because we're talking a little bit about the polar plunge. And it's just a beloved Austin tradition. Many people woke up really early this morning to go to Barton Springs Pool. And this tradition dates back for like 45 years. And so for many people, it's a symbolic thing, right? You want to start, like you said, the new year fresh, or, there are couples there that go there and they get engaged or they get married. There was a couple there that I saw this morning that got married, and the woman's dress was all wet, and but she looked radiant still. And it's also a chance, just to be involved in a community event or with your friends, and just maybe start a tradition of your own. It's so much fun. If you haven't done it, I recommend anyone doing it, because the water is year round, the water is 67 degrees. So the only thing that's going to be cold is the air temperature outside. And then the time that I went this morning was around 9:30, and so the temperature was around 55 degrees, I believe. So, that's the only time you're going to get cold, when get ready, you get your bathing suit ready, and then once you jump in, though, you're going to warm up. And yeah, when you get out, you're going to feel a little cold, but I just, run up and get my towel real quick, and then, warm up that
Wrap
way.
yourself up.
But like I said, yeah, people use this as a way to, start the new year fresh. And many people have resolutions. Do you have a resolution that you want?
I haven't really thought about my resolutions yet, but I would say I do want to travel more. I don't know if you believe in, like, on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day at midnight, you get your suitcase and you go in and out the door. I was doing that all night last night because I really want to travel. So that's my big thing.
Yeah, my friends, we would make fun of my friend because he did this too. He would run around the block with a suitcase, because that was manifesting that you're going to travel for the next year.
What about you, Jose? What are your resolutions?
Gosh, just to continue evolving in my personal and professional relationships. I know that sounds pretty broad, but that's my vision for 2025. And not just those, but in every area of my life.
Evolving.
Yeah. Unfortunately, statistics show that people sometimes lose motivation when they around like 6 to 8 weeks into the new year, trying to meet those resolutions.
Trying to
And
stick with them, right?
yeah, it's hard. And so I wanted to help people out who may have had that past experience and may, want to rethink, and because it's not too late to do your resolutions, right? Or set a list of goals and your vision for the rest of the year. So I spoke with Dr. Ann Catherine Eisel, and she is with Teladoc Health. And so I wanted to know, what are the best ways to approach this? And one of the reasons that it's hard for people, it's because changing your behavior is difficult, because we are so used to doing things, right, a certain way. And so changing that behavior is hard. So she recommends starting with baby steps, and something that you may have heard maybe out there on social media, called reverse engineering your goals. So let's say your plan is to run a marathon, and you're new at running. So the example there would be, all right, your main goal is running 13.1 miles. And so you break down that big goal into smaller steps. And so let's say, your first month you start running like a mile consistently. And then the second or third week after that, you start adding more miles, like 1 mile, and then 1 mile after that, until you reach, your 13 miles. And baby steps are the best way to approach that. And like I said earlier, consistency, and that will help you with that changing your behavior and getting rid of those old habits and starting new habits. So just consistency, but applying the baby step formula to that. Now, there are going to be hard days where you just don't feel the motivation, and there might be a tough day at work, there might be a tough day in your personal life. So I wanted to ask her, well, I asked her, Dr. Eisel, like, what is the best approach when you run into those days? And she said, anticipate those challenges, and here's how she says you should approach it.
Something will come up. Setbacks are completely normal. They happen to all of us. You start a workout plan and then you twist your ankle, or you have the best intention to cook dinner every night, but then there's nothing in your fridge, right? So instead of completely throwing everything out and this like all or nothing thinking, don't pause your goal, but think about what else could you do in those moments. And it's really helpful if you anticipate those things and see yourself, your future self, solving for those problems can be really empowering. And then if you fall off, reassess and recommit without self-judgment. So again, it's not about you failed the plan, but the plan actually failed you. So how can you reiterate the plan? How can you change it? How can you make it so that it fits in your life? Because change and goals is something extremely personal. So just taking a plan that someone else made might not be what you can stick to, what fits in your life. So really trying to reassess what are the best actions for me? How can I make this so it works for me is the best way. So have self-compassion when you fall off, but then try to reiterate and restart without feeling bad about what happened in the past.
That's awesome, Jose. I think it's really important for everyone to remember that no matter what your goal is, it's your own timeline. If you fall off of your timeline, you can always jump back into it. And it's important to be easy with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because it's easier said than done, right? Because automatically you start these negative thoughts. And yeah, it's okay to react that way in the beginning. Just recognize that, all right, this is how I initially felt after not meeting this certain goal. But you still have so much time to recuperate and get back on track, and just give yourself some grace.
Yeah, exactly. I know that you wrote an article, and that is on our website. I can pull it up right now. It's at kxan.com. We can probably find this on the homepage already, or if not, it'll be there after this live stream. But it's titled "How to Crush Your 2025 Goals: Experts' Tips for Staying on Track All Year." Jose, what is something that is in this article that we probably didn't get a touch on right now?
Well, Dr. Eiselt had so much to talk about and so much advice to give. And if you're like wondering, well, who is this doctor? She has a PhD in behavioral neuroscience. I'm sorry, and she's been also a health coach for more than 10 years, and she's been with Teladoc Health for a while. So she has experience in this, and her mission is to empower others and let them know that they have the key to change their behavior on their own. And one of the other things that she recommends that is also on the web story is investing in a personal coach or a health coach if you have the funds, because they can be pricey.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of other tips there as well that you can read, and maybe it'll work for you.
Well, I'm definitely one of the ones that doesn't stick with her resolutions, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are struggling with that too, especially coming into this new year. Thank you, Jose, for sharing the story and for sharing all these tips with all of us.
Yeah, and find yourself an accountability buddy. That also helps.
Yeah, you may not be able to get that coach or that trainer, but a friend works too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us, Jose. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty.
And that's all we have today on our Simple Health segment. We'll be back next week with more Simple Health and more streams, and we hope for you all to join us. Thank you.